Did you know that the White House is haunted? And some people say it's haunted by the ghost of Abraham Lincoln himself. Well, let's talk about it. So, stories of the White House being haunted really started after Abraham Lincoln and his wife, Mary Todd Lincoln, lost one of their sons. This is Willie Lincoln, who died during the time of the Civil War. He died when he was only 12 years old, and this was a massive tragedy for the entire Lincoln family. And that's when these haunting stories start. So, distraught over the death of her son, Mary Todd Lincoln started hosting seances in the Red Room of the White House. Mary Todd also hosted spirit circles, another psychic ceremony, and she really desperately wanted to try talk to her son Willie. But as you might know, in the paranormal, when you do a seance, you're calling out to the other side, and you don't know exactly who might respond and who you might invite into the space. So just a few years after losing her son, Mary Todd Lincoln also lost her husband, Abraham Lincoln, who obviously was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth. So fast forward to the 1900s, that's when Jerry Smith starts telling his ghost stories. So Jerry Smith was a man who was employed at the White House for decades. He worked as a butler, a cook, a footman, all sorts of jobs. And he claimed that he had seen the spirit of Abraham Lincoln, he'd seen the spirit of Ulysses S. Grant, he'd seen the spirits of several first ladies, and all sorts of ghosts wandering throughout the White House in the 40 plus years that he worked there. Then come the ghost stories from William Howard Taft's administration. Apparently, during their administration, there was a ghost that they nicknamed the Thing that haunted the White House. Now, according to these staffers, the Thing resembled a 14-year-old boy, so could it have been Willie Lincoln? And according to them, the Thing would come up to you, lean on your shoulder, tap on your shoulder, and then show itself. And according to historians, President Taft was so afraid of these ghost stories that he ordered everybody to stop telling them. And he ordered that any future staff member that repeated these stories be fired on the spot. Now, the most famous spirit of the White House is obviously Abraham Lincoln. There have been tons of different staffers, diplomats, people that worked in the White House that have claimed to have seen Abraham Lincoln's full-bodied apparition walking throughout the various rooms of the White House. Like I said before, people have also seen the spirit of child Willie Lincoln running throughout the White House. The ghost of Andrew Jackson has also been seen in the White House. He was famously seen and heard by Mary Todd Lincoln. And people have reportedly seen Andrew Jackson laying in bed laughing, and when they look at him for so long, he disappears. There's also Thomas Jefferson, who reportedly plays a ghostly violin in the Yellow Oval Room. There's the spirit of Dolly Madison, who protects and watches over the Rose Garden. There's the spirit of John Tyler, who's seen proposing to his wife in spiritual form in one of the rooms over and over again. And there's also the spirit of William Henry Harrison, who was the first president to actually die inside of the White House. And allegedly, he haunts the attic, which is, I think, the creepiest place a ghost could haunt in a house. An unnamed British soldier who died in the War of 1812 has also been seen wandering the grounds. And there's also the spirit of a woman named Abigail Adams, who handled the laundry in the White House in her time. Her spirit has been seen and felt in the East Room of the White House, and staff members to this day claim they can still smell the scent of lavender, and they can smell the wet laundry, and this is taken as a sign of Abigail Adams. The spirit of David Burns has also been seen. He's the man who originally owned the land that the White House is built on. And there's also the spirit of Anna Surratt. Now, Anna's mother was one of the conspirators behind the Abraham Lincoln assassination. And Anna's ghost has been seen and heard banging on the doors of the White House, begging to see President Andrew Johnson in order to get a pardon for her mother. I don't know, I feel like of all places and houses in the United States, the White House definitely has to be haunted by somebody or something. And I know that we will never be able to get a full paranormal investigation of this house, but I don't know. Let me know below. Would you like to see a ghost hunt at the White House? And do you believe that this place is haunted?